So
Some people just don't want to fucking exercise. It's weird. They would so much rather go to a doctor and get a pill. It's so strange. It's
a lot of people.
Well, it's this fear of discomfort. People have this extreme feeling in their mind when it comes to their associations with exercise. They want to avoid discomfort. They feel like any type of exercise is just like something to be avoided. That's not for me. Fuck that. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to strain. And a lot of times, this association that they have is about the beginnings of getting in shape. It's not about once you're actually fit. Because once you're actually fit, exercise is something you look forward to. It's an alleviation of stress. It feels great. Like, if I can't get a workout in, I look at my schedule. I go, oh, shit, I don't have any time for a workout, which means I'm not going to get that good feeling. And so instead of looking at it like, oh, I've got to go grunt and sweat, I'm thinking I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to feel relaxed. I'm not going to feel carefree. And I'm not going to feel even appreciative. Like, my appreciation of things, and it gets enhanced greatly after exercise. I just feel better. I feel like I can take things in for what they are rather than, whatever sensory data that I'm getting from any event is just one more distraction that gets in my way. And that's a lot of times how I look at things if I'm overstressed or if I'm working too much.
Totally beautifully put, because that's exactly, like, at least what's been shown from like neuroimaging studies, is that exercise does what you're talking about, is the executive function. You're talking about feeling good without that sensory stuff, which is the amygdala. It's the emotional center. That's been shown to be decreased in activity after exercise, whereas the executive function is increased. So it's exactly in the right direction, right? So you're able to logically think about this more, and you feel good, and it's like you're not that sensory response, that like gut anxiety.
Yeah.
You don't feel it as much. That part of your brain's actually quieter after exercise. Meditation does a similar thing. But if there was just a way to get this knowledge for people to understand, people that are averse to exercising, if there was just some way, and I'm really trying to find a way, because there are many people that I care about in my life that are that way, and that feel depressed and are on some sort of, antidepressant, which doesn't really work for them still. And so I'm trying to find a way, like, how, like, I can tell them, I'm having this conversation with you, and you get it because you experience it. You exercise, you eat healthy, you experience these things. But for someone that's never experienced it, how do you communicate it to them?
It's so hard for people to start anything new. It's hard for people to start a pottery class that's not gonna it's not gonna be involved with any physical pain or any stress or any exhaustion. There's not that feeling that you get when you're really tired. The feeling that you get, for me, is particularly difficult doing boring stuff like an elliptical machine. Like, an elliptical machine, to me, it's a great workout. It's awesome if I'm at a gym, because if I go to a gym, like at a hotel, and they have some bullshit weights, but they have an elliptical machine, I go, okay, if this thing has a high setting, I can get a real workout in this. But those times when you're tired and you don't want to do it, they're so fucking boring. It's just you have to listen to something, you have to watch something, like, other stimuli has to come in order to get you pumped up. But I know this because I've done it 1,000 times. For someone who hasn't done it 1,000 times, they get to that point, they're like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Oh my God, let me get a donut. Give me a coffee. I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. Woo, I feel better. And it's so hard to get past that because we have all these connections in our mind when it comes to comfort and stress, comfort and, like, our bodies, for whatever reason, most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. But it's so illogical, because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of, like, how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend. It really is. Like, discomfort and not being happy and content with certain situations in life or certain feelings in life, they're massive motivators, and they're amazing at facilitating change, and yet are instinct is to avoid those and just sit on the couch and watch some fucking reality show about dudes who make moonshine with our jaw open, like, it's bizarre.
It is. It's too much of that like stimuli where you don't have to do anything and you can still like get that sensory information.
The need to act, like to need to actually go out there and act, is so strong. It's such an important thing, but yet we resist it. Many people, I know you don't, I don't, but so many people do. But I feel the thing. I don't allow it to work, but I feel that. Fuck this, I don't want to work out. I feel it all the time, almost every time before I work out. I have at least an inclination to blow it off. I don't ever embrace it, but it's there. It's there with everybody. Like, no one is like completely 100% healthy and without any resistance.
Yeah. I wonder if also we were talking about this being a super ager. I wonder if there is some association there. We're looking at how it's important to push past that uncomfortableness, whether it's physical or mental, and that's linked to being a super ager. But what if it's just like the ability to make yourself do that is important too, right? It's not just the act that you're doing. It's not just the strenuous exercise, which is obviously good. We know that it's good from science, but what if it's just being able to like push yourself? Like, maybe some people don't have that ability for whatever reason, or they just haven't tapped into it enough because they haven't really experienced it.
I think that's it. I think it's a learned thing, because if I take time off, like I got sick recently and I couldn't work out for like a week or 6 days or so, and the act of getting back into the gym, I think in a lot of ways we rely on momentum. We rely on the momentum of past experiences where you're just conditioned to do that. It's one of the things that you do. And for me, at least, when I get like really disciplined and really I get really consistent with my workouts, one of the things that I almost feel momentum. I feel like there's like a push behind me, like, all right, we're, like after I get out of the gym, I have a really good workout. I'm like, yeah, now I'm doing it. I'm doing it all the time now. And I'm looking forward to the next time. And it makes that resistance much weaker, and it makes my motivation and my discipline much stronger. I think a lot of it is based on just the consistency. It's one of the things that I talked about recently on the podcast. I said, like blowing something off, it's not just not good. Like blowing off an exercise that you planned is not just bad for you physically. It's also bad mentally, because then that option is now available. The option to fuck off is available. And you did it before, and you're probably going to do it again, and you'll get mediocre results.